It's another Wednesday. That means it's another day for you to get up, get out, turn your dreams into a reality, and listen to somebody who definitely did the same. And I hope ignites you that burning desire inside to go get yours. Me, ADRI.V, the Go Getta, is here for you, giving you the G code. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud at the G code. And you can find me by plugging it in the search area. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Periscope, and all that jazz at ADRI.V, the Go Getta. Now, today I got a chance to interview a Go Getta inside the G code. He's definitely been doing his thing and knew exactly what he wanted to do since an early age and have gone hard pursuing it. Despite the adversities that had come his way, he has really been a platinum artist, developing platinum boy music, working with artists such as Trey Songz, being so much to so many people. And I don't really want to give it away, but I just want to say check his credentials. It's just that simple. Let's welcome to the G code, Mr. Amadeus. It's time to get into it. If you're ready, like to hear it, let's go. What's up, my go-getters? Welcome yet again to another edition of the G Code. And I'm excited because we got a famous person on the line, okay? He's definitely famous because he is around so many other famous people. He has a huge name for himself. And when someone adds platinum to their name, that means they're doing big things. So I want to welcome to the mic my man, Mr. Amadeus of Platinum Boy Music. What it do, sir?
What up, though?
What up, though? Now, for those who may not know who you are, I know who you are. Please give them I'll say a quick glimpse or a synopsis of exactly who Amadeus is.
No problem. The CEO of Platinum Boy Music Inc. That have produced for over 60 artists, ranging from Chris Brown and Tyga to Justin Bieber, Trey Songz, CeeLo Green, Fabulous, Dipset, G-Unit, ESPN, Sprite, BET, to name a few, and also Trey Songz, music director and tour drummer. So that in a nutshell, pretty much.
And you know, when you speak about drummer, I had my girl Joy the drummer on here, and she spoke highly about you.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, Amadeus, I know him, because I was like, I'm trying to get this guy on here to be on my podcast. And she's like, yo, he's so dope. So I was like, okay, you just gave him like the official stamp of approval, so he's gonna be on the G.
Man, that means a lot. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Shout out to her, man. She's definitely doing a thing as well, and I know exactly who she is, and she's been touring the world with the best of the best. So I'm honored to even be, my name and mentioned and the love that's shown. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, let's take it back to Amadeus when he was little. When did you fall in love with music, and when did you know this would be the path that you wanted to pursue?
Great questions. I was always surrounded by music. My parents were music lovers. They always played different genres. Saturday was like the day where, you clean up the house,
right,
and, you heard music. So that can, my mom was kind of into the hip hop and R&B. My dad was into the old school soul and the gospel. So I always had a wide variety of music growing up. And, I was actually blessed and privileged to be sent to a Catholic school by the name of St. Augustine School of the Arts. And in that school, they allowed us to learn a musical instrument. And I'll never forget it. I was in third grade, and we were to choose an instrument. And on the day we were supposed to choose an instrument, I was homesick, so I didn't make it into school that day, unfortunately. And then when I came in the following day, the instrument that I really wanted to learn how to play, the slots were already full. So the only thing left that was available was the violin and percussion. Now, me being from the Bronx, I grew up in the projects, the hood,
right,
and I didn't really feel it would be kind of cool and masculine to be walking around with a violin.
Sure,
so
sure?
I said, I don't know what. Yeah, I'm positive. I definitely wouldn't have made it out alive. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I just had to make it an executive decision at that time. It was the best decision, obviously, and I chose percussion. I didn't know what it entailed. Once I got into the class, I learned that it had, everything to do with rhythm. So drums, xylophone, congas, the wood blocks. It was just great. And the teacher sat down, played a rhythm pattern, and said, I want to see who can play this pattern. And I was the only one in the classroom that was able to do so, and I did it flawlessly. And I learned I had coordination. And I was able to do it. And I just, kind of moved forward. I never looked back. And the more I learned the instrument, the more I became it became a passion to me. I decided to become a producer at the age of 15, 16 years old in high school. And here I am today, 16 years later, producing for over 60 artists, and still going as we speak.
And, I find that so profound because, me growing up, I was 16 years old when I started interning at the radio station. But I knew from beginning I wanted to be a radio personality. And I've realized there are so many people who, have not a clue of what is it they want to pursue. And like you said, at 15, you decided that you wanted to be a producer and you decided to move forward with it.
Right.
And of course, now look at you. You are where you are. But along the way of deciding to make that as your decision, what were some of the issues as a teen, that you may have encountered that could have taking you in a different direction, but you still stayed the course? Like you said, growing up in projects. I definitely grew up in the hood. I can see the projects out my backyard. There's so many different things that could come your way as a teen that will put you in a position of, maybe I'm not going to stay focused on pursuing my dreams and my goals, and that will put you in a different path of, what other people may be doing that may not be as focused as you.
Right. There's a lot of things that I can honestly say. I've been through that what I would say would definitely be some situations that would allow me to not continue or to kind of give up or to kind of feel defeated. And I'm glad you asked, because I've never really kind of went into detail and spoken about it. I kind of just kind of went through it and kept it pushing, and kind of never lost focus on the prize. My first placement was with Foxy Brown. She was signed to Def Jam at the time, and we did a record called Cradle to the Grave, My Life, that was featured on the Cradle to the Grave soundtrack, which was just happened to be, the first official project that I was a part of. The project did very well. It sold, the soundtrack was released. It sold over 500,000 copies, which allowed me to receive a gold plaque. And it was featured in the film. So, when I went to go check out the film, the song that I actually produced in my home was on the big screen, playing in the scene with DMX, Jet Li, and Dragon and Gabrielle Union. And then at the end of the movie, the credits rolled and my name was there. So it was an amazing experience. But what a lot of people don't know is, what I kind of went through behind the scenes. And I'm glad you asked. So Foxy has two brothers, Antwan Marchand and Gavin Marchand. And at the time, I was new. I was new to the game. I didn't really have the relationships as of yet. So, the business side of it wasn't really proper and didn't really, it wasn't the way it was supposed to be. I had checked the credits. I didn't even know the song had made the album until the album was in stores.
Wow.
Walked into the store. I never forget, I was in Yonkers, and at FYE, walked in the store, bought the album, opened up the credits, and I saw, Foxy's brother's name on it. And I'm like, man, he didn't produce this record. He didn't have anything to do with this record. Why is his name on there first and then my name second?
Right.
And that was kind of a situation that I was really baffled over. When it was time to be paid for the track, he had already gotten paid the first half of the situation. And like I said, a lot of people don't know this. So it was an ongoing battle with myself and Def Jam. Kind of calling up the label saying, "Hey, I'm Amadeus. I produced this record. I didn't get paid." And they're like, "Nah, but Gavin Marchand, Foxy brother did it." And I'm like, "Nah, this is something I created in my living room."
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was an ongoing battle. We really got it. We got it organized, and I finally did get paid. But it was definitely an experience that I would never forget. And it happens. It happens. I was very angry at the time. I was very angry with Foxy and her brothers, but at the end of the day, I got over it. It's the business. It comes along with it. And it's all about how you carry yourself and how you handle yourself. And we made it through it. We're cool to this day. Me, Gavin, Foxy, I just actually spoke to her a few weeks ago. She's doing very well. I don't believe in holding grudges. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But that's a situation that's kind of never really been spoken on. And I'm glad you asked, because people need to know these type of things that. Right. And pursuing your dreams and like you said, the glitz and the glamour and working and placing records as a producer, you just don't know the behind the scenes. You don't know what goes on to kind of try to, things that kind of push you away from it and anger you. You know what I mean? But I just showed that, everything ain't for you to react to. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta let karma and you gotta let God deal with it. And you did that, and things worked out.
Absolutely. Now, having such experience like that, because, like you said, I'll sharing with you when it comes to the pretty, the ugly, and the grind to success, that's what the G code is all about. We get to see the pretty of you being able to have your name on the credits. Like you said, at the end of the movie, you see your name, of course you're on the album, but certain things didn't go how you planned. Now, having that situation happen to you, now how did you better prepare yourself moving forward? Because like you said, sometimes you just don't have to learn not to react to certain situations, but I'm sure you reacted in a different way after the fact to make sure you educate yourself and prepare yourself moving forward. So how did that lesson teach you, and what did it pretty much open your eyes to and prepare you for next and bigger opportunities to make sure these things didn't happen again?
Right. I mean, certain things is beyond your control, honestly. For that situation, me being a new producer, not really having a name as of yet, not really having contacts and knowing people at the label, and Gavin and Foxy, obviously her being signed to Def Jam, the loyalty will be towards her and her team and her brothers,
right.
Being that they're a part of the family and they're a part of that Def Jam movement. So me being a new guy, it's just kind of something that I had to kind of go through. It's kind of hard to really prepare for something like that to happen. It's not really much you can do. But just kind of try to get things right. I kind of did my job. I created the song, I created the music. I sent the credits in, and when it was time for the credits to release, it was something else, in the credits. And I have no control about that. So it's a live and learn situation. Kind of like I said, something that you can't really avoid, no matter who you are and where you are in the game. If someone have control and more of a relationship with a person that's running the credits for an album, and they can kind of have, can manipulate that individual into having it be what they says it is, and they believe them. I mean, what can you do?
Right.
Thank God, I was able to, get the business handled, but then also just kind of tell people word of mouth.
Right.
Like, word of mouth is really strong for me to say, hey man, the credits didn't say that, but I really did that. If you want me to pull up the Pro Tools files, you want me to pull up the actual beat, I can pull it up and show you that. It's right here in my computer. It's right here on my MPC 2000. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to go to that extent. But, sometimes the proof is in the pudding. Sometimes you just got to show and prove. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I got things that I've been through that, again, people don't know about because I'm not into, really bringing light on to things that are negative. I'm a very positive individual. Once I make it through it, I make it through it. You know what I mean? But I appreciate your show, and the G Code for doing this, because people need to hear about how we go through things and make it through it. You know what I'm saying? And be successful. So it's a great thing.
Absolutely. And, speaking of success, so many people, we kind of fast forward to you getting on the credits and having this opportunity. But what did it take for you to even connect yourself in such a way? There's so many artists and producers out there that's constantly making beats, like you said, in their room, in their living room, pumping himself on social media. How did you, as Amadeus, even get yourself out there in the first place to be seen, to be heard, to be considered?
Right. I'm a very hardworking individual, and not to say that to just kind of pat myself on the back.
It's okay.
I really don't stop, man. And my attorney, shout out to Kevin Thompson, who's been my attorney for years, and he's kind of shared, and he has other clients that are very reputable producers and songwriters and artists, and he kind of said, man, wow, like you're one of the hardest working dudes I know. You don't give up. You're always, placing records. You're always sending music out. You're always emailing. You're always connecting the dots. You're always at events if you can be there. It's just about doing what people aren't willing to do. You know what I mean? And I always say, I don't believe in wasting time. I don't believe in procrastinating, because I feel like, there's somebody else somewhere that's trying to take my spot. There's somebody somewhere that's trying to get that check that has my name on it. So in order for me to not allow that to happen, I have to work harder than anybody, than everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't compare. I don't see what, other people are doing. I just do me. You know what I'm saying? To the best of my ability, and it works for me. It works for my team. So to be in the game for over 15 years and producing, and to be still relevant and producing for over 60 artists and still going, it's a blessing. And it all, goes back to hard work and being humble and creating relationships and maintaining relationships and doing what it is, I'm able to do, and creating the team and putting people around me to help me grow and to push me to that next level, or to push me into things that I'm not thinking. And you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And, it's clear the proof is in the pudding, like you said, because your discography is crazy from 2015, even going all the way down to 2000s, the early 2000s. And so, now
Right.
you have Platinum Boy music. What made you, branch out and say, you know what, I'm about to just create my own stuff?
You know what? It's actually started, with me sitting in the ASCAP office one day, and having to create a publishing name. So that is actually my publishing name first, Platinum Boy. And the whole thing behind it was I was sitting there trying to think of a name, and I'm really terrible with names, and I just kind of put two things together. I was saying, hey, I'm obviously a male boy. So, and I would love for all of the records that I produced to go platinum. And it kind of, had a little ring to it. And I said, why don't I put platinum and boy together and, see what it is? And that's what what I came up with. It got approved by ASCAP to be like a publishing company. And that's how it started. And from there, it just kind of created to it being just about me and me as a producer and a CEO and, turning into, having producers signed to the company and having songwriters and artists signed to the company, and having, a president and a vice president and a general manager and a director of marketing and promotion and, community affairs. So it's just been something that kind of has grown into a great brand, a family and a team that's very positive about, doing great things. And that's who we are and what we are today.
Absolutely. Now, what was that transition like, going from being a producer yourself to now being over, other individuals to kind of cultivate them and bring them into the fold and really build this brand that you have? Because once upon a time, you were under several other brands and now you've creating your own. So What did you take from others to say, hey, this is how I want to do this? And then what was that transition like from, going from being a producer to the CEO of your own company?
Right. Very natural. Very natural. We always say, it starts with the music and it ends with the music. So it all has everything to do with music, which is something that I'm very passionate about. And just to be able to connect with individuals that are just passionate about me, whether it's music, whether it's branding, whether it's philanthropy, it was an easy transition, honestly. One thing I've learned and I've accepted is that I don't have to do everything alone. I don't have to do everything myself, because that was a very hard decision for me to make. I'm a person that's very hands-on. I like to be a part of anything that has to do with Platinum Boy music, and whether it's music, whether it's business, whether it's finance. I like to have my hand in everything, and that's fine and that's all good. But at the end of the day, like I said, you don't have to do it all all yourself. It's people that are out here that will see your vision, that will respect and honor your destiny and your vision and want to be a part of it and want to be able to help push it forward. And, that's definitely the type of people that I have a part of my team, and I'm grateful and I'm blessed. And I'm honored to have them. And I just want everybody to know that's tuned in. It's not just about me. You know what I mean? It's about everybody that's a part of the team, that we come together as a team and make Platinum Boy music what it is today.
Absolutely. And, speaking of team, I know you work closely with Trey Songz. You're his music director, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And what is that like, being on a tour? Because I know you have been on several, but this seems to be like your person that you have been with for the longest and been working with, and being a music director, right. Because there are, students out there that may be listening, people who have aspirations, who have no clue, like, oh, wow, there's a music director that comes with this all, so give us, a background history on that and being in such a position. And really that's a major load that you have to be responsible for when it comes to an artist.
Oh, yeah. Right, absolutely, and I thank you for bringing light to that. I've been with Trey for the last 8 years. It's been an amazing journey. I met him in the studio with Mike Jones. Was producer for our record with Mike Jones, and he was the featured artist on that particular song. And I never forget. I remember being in the studio in Houston, and I was saying to Trey, I was like, man, I think he had just released his first album. I'm working on the second album, and I was like, man, the type of music that you're creating, I feel like, you're going to need a live band behind you, to really take it to the next level, and I guess he agreed and kind of said, agreed to what I was saying. And I was like, whenever, you need a band or whenever that time comes, I would love for you to reach out to me and allow me to put it together. And I kind of just threw it out there and planted a seed and was willing to and able to be able to speak things into existence. And a year later, I got a phone call from his manager at the time, Delonte Murphy, and the call was real simple and quick and to the point. And it was like, "Yo, you ready to put the band together?" And deep down inside of the back of my mind, I'm like, "Nah," because one, I never did it before. But out of my mouth came yes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I accepted the role. I was definitely surrounded by a lot of amazing musicians and a music director by the name of Butters Kearns, who became a mentor to me, and I kind of was trying to pass the position to him because I know he's had an area of expertise in it. And he said, "Nah, man, the reason why I'm able to do what I do today is because somebody gave me a chance." And he was like, "Trey has given you a chance, an opportunity, whether you've done it or not. And I think, you should take it, and I'll be here, to advise you and to point you in the right direction." And that's, what he did. And here we are, 8 years later. I've been all around the world, from Japan to, Europe, Australia, Africa, all over the United States, touring the world with Trey, and it's been an amazing experience and something that I really appreciate. And, it's challenging. Because most people, like I said, a lot of people don't really know what my job description is, but it's my responsibility to basically put the entire show together. Kind of get Trey's vision on what it is he wants to accomplish in that particular tour and bring it to light. Hiring the band, putting the show together, working with the engineers, working with the lighting, directors and the designers and creative directors to kind of make the best show possible. And, like you said, it's a serious job, but I've been blessed to do it and do it very well to the approval of Trey, and we've done great shows and great things, and sky's the limit.
Absolutely. You know what I love most is, like you said, I didn't know what I was going to do and how to do this, but out of my mouth came yes. And I think, they say sometimes you have to start before you're ready, and then the pressure is on for you to really do it at the best of your ability. So it's clear that you were able to do that, because if you're running with somebody for the longest as you have been, clearly you're doing something right. And you guys are going to be making your way to my area real soon. So I look forward to checking out the show. And speaking of you being on tour, I see that you are on a tour of your own, going to the different universities and educating our students on the music, which is, I believe, is Music 101. Is it? That's the name of the tour?
Right. Yes. And absolutely.
So why do you feel that's so important?
You know what? I've always been an individual that loved, to speak and inspire individuals, whether it being youth, whether it being kids, whether it being adults, students, aspiring artists, producers, songwriters, executives. I just love that. I have a passion for that. I went to school with a great friend of mine by the name of Mike Daniel, and we went to Cardinal Hayes together, graduated together, and somehow via social media we was able to reconnect.
That's what's up.
And I remember him coming to me saying, "Yo, man, I love what you're doing. I respect what you're doing. I'm so proud of you. I remember, you banging on desks and you started, playing drums.
Right.
And, you producing for 60 artists and touring with Trey." And he's like, "Man, I feel like, I would love to be a part of your team and I can add, value to you and your brand, on the philanthropy side of things, on you, speaking engagements and just, going around the world and speaking at schools." So this was, something, a vision that he had and he came up with. It was, like I said, it was something that I've always done, but not to this level. And, once he jumped on board and got a part of the team, he put it together very well. And, while we were out at the Between the Sheets tour earlier this year with Chris Brown and Trey and Tyga, whatever city I was in, if I had availability, he would schedule for me to attend a college and to speak to the students there at that school. So I was able to speak at Clark, Morehouse,
nice.
Dillard, to name a few. And, it started with that. And once we did that, and that was a huge success, something that was not even planned. It was just on some, make a phone call. Hey, Amadeus is in town, show up, speak. That could be to 10 students, that could be to 15, that could be to 3. And numbers never really, bothered me. I felt like if I blessed one individual, if I inspired one individual, I did the job. And, you know, it was his vision to say, hey, why not turn this into a tour and, you know, really fully schedule it and do it the right way and book dates. And, you know, you kind of have a topic and the theme to kind of go off of. And we had our first tour date at City College in New York, and it was a huge success for the first stop. I had a lot of colleagues and friends come out to be panelists, artists, record execs, lawyers, DJs. You know, it was really great. So I'm very excited about, you know, what's ahead of us with this college tour, Music 101, Who Got Next.
I love it. And so you're going to be in Albany soon, within my area, and hopefully we can see what we can try to make happen once you land foot in Rochester and get you to Buffalo as well. So we're going to work on something.
Gotcha.
And so,
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever we can make happen, I'm with it.
Good. And so, you know, as we speak about the students and, you know, the G code is all about really the codes to success. What are some codes that you have learned along the way that you now, you know, you live by that could be considered your G codes to really share with other people to say, hey, you know, these are codes that I live by. These are codes that work for me. And, you know, if you implement these, you know, who knows, sky's the limit for you.
Right. You know, just a few sayings, you know, patience is key. You know, relationships are everything. You know, just being humble. No matter how much you accomplish and how much, you know, you achieve. You can always be humble. Why not? You know what I'm saying? This is a God-given gift that we all have, and we all have gifts, regardless of what it is. There's something that you can do that I can't. You know, that God gave you. You know, the fact that you have this G Code show. You know, you came up with the idea. You came up with the theme. You came up with, you know, this podcast, which is an amazing thing. I didn't come up with that. You know what I mean? And so this is, you know, why I say, you know, we all have gifts and we should use and walk in our gifts. So I really appreciate seeing people, you know, using their gifts. You know, just be you. Just be you. That's one of the reasons why I'm where I'm at today. I can honestly say I haven't had the biggest single or the biggest hit record in the world, you know, as some of my colleagues. But I've been doing this for 15, 16 years. And, you know, the fact that I'm still doing it, I'm still relevant. You know, this year has been a great year, having over 15 placements without having management, without even having, you know, a huge major backing like some producers or some artists and songwriters have, like a Rock Nation or, you know, a Bad Boy or, you know what I mean? So to be able to do that with just my own hustle and my own team's hustle is amazing. So just do you. Do you, be who you are, be authentic with yourself, be real to yourself, be authentic with people. And, you know, once you give people, you know, the real you, what's in your heart and what's in your soul, people can gravitate towards it, people can appreciate it, people can understand it, and then people can learn to love it. You know what I mean? So these are some of the things that I've used to get to where I'm at today. And I would definitely encourage those that are out there to use, you know, some of the same principles to, you know, to get from point A, you know, from point A to point B.
Love it. Now, as we wrap up the G Code, you know, how can folks get in contact with you, follow you, you know, support your movement? What's the next stop on the tour? How can they find it? You know, give me all that good so all of the listeners could definitely check you out.
Yes, absolutely. I'm on Instagram, and it's Amadeus, AMADEUS, PBM, PBM standing for Platinum Boy Music. So once again, it's on Instagram, it's Amadeus, PBM. On Twitter is at Producer Amadeus on Twitter. The website is www.platinumboymusic.com. That's the website. And then, you know, if you follow me, you'll see other members of the team that you can reach out to and connect with us to see, you know, what we have up and coming. And, you know, so shout out to Mike Daniels for actually putting this together and allowing me to do this interview. He's one of the team members, very influential, major role player on the team. He has so many different titles, so I'm not even going to get into it.
Shout out to
he's
MD.
Uncle _ Mike 2. And you can reach out to him. And like I said, once you follow me, you'll see him. You'll see Uncle Mike. You'll see Jason Bourne. You'll see Ebony Trumpler, Basquiat, Entertainment, Miss CEO Angel. You'll see the whole team, and we nonstop, you know, tag each other and promote each other and and support each other. So, once you follow me, you'll follow the team. And also, Platinum Boy Music also has an Instagram page as well. So, at Platinum Boy Music is on Instagram as well. So that's how you can reach me. We're doing a few cities. We got Howard coming up. We got William Patterson coming up. Like I said, we're coming up to Albany. So we moving and shaking. We're moving and shaking.
And that's what it's all about. So I appreciate you coming inside and to the G Code and sharing your codes with us and really giving us the pretty, the ugly, and the grind of all your success, and wish you many more.
Thank you very much. I always consider myself as a G. You know what I'm saying? So it's only right to be on the G Code show. And like I said, I'm honored. I appreciate, you having me on the show. Shout out to Mike Daniel for making it all happen, part of Black Boy Music. And, congrats to you, and congrats to you and all your success. I wish you continued success. I wish you well with the show. And I'm definitely looking forward to coming up to Albany, to bringing some light and spreading some wealth and knowledge to, those students up there and the people up there that's chasing, their dreams. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to meeting you and putting the name in, with the face.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on, and we'll be chatting real soon.
No doubt. G-Code, you heard.
Love it. All right, my go-getters, make sure you follow him at All Things Amadeus. Like he said, don't forget to check out Platinum Boy Music. And please make sure you support him if he's in a city near you at his Music 101 conferences. And I promise you, you will be edutained. Yes, I like to call it entertained as well as educated. Now, in true fashion, don't forget to follow us and subscribe to us on iTunes, on YouTube, as well as SoundCloud. And check us out at www.ADRI.com for all things the G Code, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at all things ADRI.V the Go Getta, as well as Pinterest, Periscope, and yes, everything social media wise, Snapchat and it all too. All right, I appreciate you for listening. I love you so much for your dedication, and don't forget to leave us a note if you are enjoying what you're hearing. As always, welcome to the G Code.